I get a lot of questions about pregnancy test, ovulation test strips, and essentially if the really expensive, fancy ones are worth it and what I used. So let's talk about those expensive ones first. You don't need them. The claims that one test can detect pregnancy sooner than another is largely BS. All pregnancy tests look for only one thing, and that is the hormone HCG. Some people call it the pregnancy hormone because it's only released when you are pregnant, specifically when a fertilized egg attaches to the lining of your uterus. Your body then starts to release HCG. And sometimes women can take a test that gives them a false negative because the HCG hasn't built up to a high enough level yet to be, detected by the test strips. And, the ones that say, oh, we're more sensitive than the other ones. Trust me, I tried all of them. I experimented with it. It took me about 2 years to get pregnant. I had seven months to have the miscarriage, get pregnant, and then miscarry, and then, a while after that. So I took a lot of tests. And yes, I was absolutely one of those people that would start taking pregnancy tests a week after ovulation occurred. So trust me, if there were certain tests that miraculously detected HCG a week before all the rest, I would tell you. Okay, and then we have the ovulation test strips that look for LH, or the luteinizing hormone. And you typically have a rise in LH when the ovary releases an egg, when one of the ovaries releases an egg. And again, it took me a long time to get pregnant. I used so many freaking ovulation and pregnancy test strips. And if I always used the expensive ones, I would have spent my son's college savings money. I would have spent thousands and thousands of dollars. Instead, I use the tests called Easy at Home. It's easy with the email address @ at home, Easy at Home. The box was around $14 on Amazon. Link is below. And it came with 50 ovulation test strips and 20 pregnancy test strips. They also have boxes of 20 pregnancy test strips for about $9. And these tests have almost 50,000 Amazon reviews. So they work really well. And with these strips, what you do is you pee in a cup, you put the end of the test strip in the cup, 2 lines appear if you're pregnant. It's a lot like the COVID antigen tests, actually. Many of us are now very familiar with. 1 line, no COVID, 2 lines, COVID. With the ovulation test strips, you're pretty much always going to get 2 lines because that LH there's probably always a little bit of LH going through the body, but just having 2 lines appear does not mean that you're ovulating. The line needs to be the same darkness as the test line, but this is explained in the instructions, and there are pictures that you can look at to figure out, okay, does this mean I'm ovulating? Does this mean I'm having that rise in LH? And I actually prefer these tests to the ones that just say pregnant, not pregnant, the ones that have that little window and it actually says the word pregnant or not pregnant, because they allow you to loosely gauge, how much HCG is in your system. So for example, when I took my first positive pregnancy test with my daughter on the day that my period was supposed to start, the line was really, really faint, but it was there. I took the test every morning for the next few days. And it was really encouraging that second line kept getting darker and darker, indicating that my HCG levels were going up. Regarding the ovulation test strips, I found it helpful to actually tape the tests that I took each morning around the time that I was supposed to ovulate next to each other on a piece of paper, so I could track the darkening of the test line and more accurately determine, when my LH was the highest. And, ideally you're having sex before you have that spike in LH, or right after, because we want that active sperm to be in the body when the egg releases, because that egg only lives for about 12 to 24 hours. And I'm going to do another video more on like ovulation and what that looks like and the specifics of that. Okay, so finally, here are some tips to keep in mind when taking these tests. So using your first morning urine when possible is the best for both the pregnancy and the ovulation test strips. This is the time of day when, again, the levels of those hormones will be most concentrated and more easily detected. And if you do it at another time of day, try and make sure your urine has been in your bladder for at least 4 hours. You don't want to drink excessive levels of fluids before you take the test. Many people think this will like increase the volume of urine and make it easier to detect, but it can actually dilute your urine and like thin out those HCG levels. You will also want to read the instructions that come with these tests like really thoroughly before starting them, following each step precisely. They're pretty easy, but it doesn't hurt to read the instructions. And now I'm going to give you a demonstration. Just kidding. To get these highly rated tests that, again, I used for almost 2 years, click on the link in the description. And I want you to know this is an affiliate link. So I will get, like if you get them through Amazon, which is the affiliate link, Amazon will give me like a small little tiny piece of money when you use the link and you actually buy the product. But it adds absolutely no cost to you, and it helps me keep my modest little YouTube channel and podcast alive.